This is the 2018 Toyota Corolla IM, and I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, why is it I would be reviewing a 2018 when the brand new generation 2019 is just round the corner? Well, this is what Toyota gave to me this week, and I would never turn down an opportunity to review a vehicle. So we're going to go through this car and try and find out, is the 2018 still worth a look, or should you really wait for that new generation? As you may know, the Toyota Corolla IM didn't start off its life in Canada as a Toyota. It was at that time a Scion, back when Scion was still a car company before Toyota killed them off. So to bring some of the cars over, this Scion IM became the Toyota Corolla IM. And the interesting thing about this, there is no Corolla badging anywhere on this car. You have the one IM badge on the boot lid, and that's kind of it. It's definitely one of the more challenging cars to figure out what exactly it is. Going back and looking at what one of the main values of Scion was having everything as one fixed package. You had two choices. You could choose the color of the car and you could choose the transmission. In this car, you either have a CVT, which is what I have right here, or a 6-speed manual. They send power to the front wheels with the 1.8 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. It produces 137 horsepower and 126 pound-feet of torque. Again, going with that ideology that Scion had, is there was one way to have it. So if you're wanting any additional options on this car, it's not exactly possible. What you see here is what you get. You have a fair few things, like we have heated front seats up here. We have Toyota's safety sensing systems with lane departure warning, the pre-collision braking, the pre-collision warning. And we have a 7-inch touchscreen down here and a dual zone climate control. But again, if you want anything more, you're not going to get it in this car. We don't have a heated steering wheel, for example, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. That's of course not here. There's no sunroof. If you are looking to buy a car that is no frills, it has no sort of unnecessary options, then maybe you look at this car. With the interior of the IM, there's nothing much to really point out. We've got a lot of piano black plastic here where the touchscreen is, which it does look like an aftermarket system, and it probably is. It's in no way groundbreaking because it's incredibly simple and frankly basic. We have a little digital readout between the two dials here, and it presents a little bit of information. We have our range, we have our fuel economy, the eco indicator, but there really isn't much available. You don't have a digital speedo, which I would like to have, because even in the brightest setting, I don't find these dials bright enough. There's a lot of black plastic in here, and down by the shift lever, you can see it's already been scratched up pretty badly. I do like the soft plastics that surround the door, on top of the dashboard. There's a nice little flare of this white leatherette down here too, but I would never go so far to say this interior is exciting. But I'll tell you one cool thing, look at these air vents here. That's kind of neat. And I actually think the best feature of this car is these cloth seats. There isn't a ton of lower leg support, but I find myself very comfortable in here. You have a little bit of thigh bolstering, which holds you in place. So if you're a tall guy doing a long trip, I actually think you'll be pretty happy in these seats. Although everything seems to be very neatly put together, everything is screwed together well, there is a lot of road noise that comes through the cabin. Going down the highway at 110, it is noisy. I can hear quite a bit of roar from those tires. Above everything, that might be my largest criticism of this car, is that it doesn't really seem to be all that isolated from the road and the wind. I hope that with that new generation, that is something they tackle head on. The exterior design, I actually think looks pretty good, but with this all new generation of Corolla coming out later this year, that is a good looking car. Driving the Toyota Corolla, there's a lot to be desired. The CVT has its typical mechanical woes where you'll be on the highway, you've got your cruise control set, and for all of a sudden it's hanging out at 4,000 RPM. And the way to describe this powertrain is tinny. at best. You do have a sport button just right down here, and it does quite honestly nothing apart from making the CVT more annoying. I wouldn't say the throttle gets any sharper, the steering doesn't get any heavier. Honestly, the only way that I can tell that sport mode is on is thanks to the little text that's in this center display. The eco light that you see here in the tag isn't a eco mode as such. It's simply just an indicator to show that you're sort of within the parameters of being the most fuel efficient. What else can I say about this Corolla? Well, it is nice that you can fold down the seats completely flat. That is incredibly useful. I definitely wouldn't be happy sitting behind myself. My knees are jamming right into the back of that seat. This Corolla IM is definitely a mixed bag for me. I like the exterior looks, I like how the interior is put together, but it certainly doesn't have the latest technology. It's not the most isolated car I've ever driven in this category, and the driving dynamics aren't all that brilliant. If you are looking for a really good deal on a 2018 Corolla IM, I'm sure they can be found. The dealers are probably wanting to get rid of them to make room for that new 2019. So unless getting yourself a good deal is the only priority for you, I would say hold off a couple months, wait until the 2019. So that's been everything from me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watching this video. I hope you can like, share, and subscribe. And I hope to see you again here on the Drive Guide.